What's up, YouTube? We're back today to talk about underrated receivers in the 2023 NFL draft class and what that means for your fantasy football teams in general. So, got to click on this slideshow first. First, as you can see from the thumbnail, Jalin Hyatt, elite college receiver, and not being treated as such, which is really strange to me. So, he played at Tennessee and obviously is known for his 5-touchdown game against Alabama, killed it, over 200 yards. And a lot of people just think that's all he was when he was good all year. This is a list of receivers that achieved over 3 yards per team pass attempt in their first or second or third year out of high school. So as you can see, this is a pretty elite list with a lot of really valuable dynasty assets: Garrett Wilson, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, CeeDee Lamb, etc., DJ Moore, all pretty elite dynasty assets. And Jalin Hyatt isn't even being mocked as a first-round pick. I think that's a mistake. I think he's going to be a first-round NFL draft pick just because the NFL has shown they covet speed, and he's a burner pretty fast. And a lot of people that think that's all he is. They just think he's a deep threat, which the data is not showing that. The data shows he's a good all-around receiver and was extremely dominant in the SEC, which should count for a lot of things. So I think he's going to end up being a first-round dynasty draft pick, and I think he's going to end up going in the back of the first, and I will be thrilled to take him there. But right now I'm seeing him go mid-second, late second, which means he is criminally underrated. First round dynasty and NFL draft pick. Marvin Mims is second. So Marvin Mims played at the University of Oklahoma. He's an early declare. Third year out of high school is when he entered the draft. So this list is receivers in college over 2.6 yards per team pass attempt, Power 5, and drafted in the second round, which is where, based on the data I looked at, I expect Marvin Mims to get drafted. So as you can see down below, first I'll talk about the comps. So Elijah Moore, Wan'Dale Robinson, A.J. Brown, N'Keal Harry, and James Washington. So it's a mixed bag here. Obviously, you got the elite ones in A.J. Brown, Wan'Dale Robinson. And I actually think, as a prospect, Marvin Mims is closer to James Washington and N'Keal Harry. And I know that sounds bad, but those two actually were very good college prospects, and for whatever reason didn't work out in the NFL. But data-wise, they should be what you want your receivers to strive to be. So this is a really good list to be on, in my opinion, even though two of them didn't really work out at the NFL level. As you can see down below, he had a pretty elite freshman season. This is like top 5% numbers for freshmen. So he got a lot of hype after his freshman year and really disappointed in year two, taking steps back actually in a lot of categories. But in his third year, he was good. He was really good. Over 2.6 yards per team pass attempt is usually what I look for when I'm drafting. And he hit that threshold in his junior season and declared. So if he gets a second-round draft capital, I think he will be a pretty good dynasty asset. I think he's going to be a number 2 receiver in the NFL. So take that as you will, but I think he's going to be a second-round dynasty rookie draft pick when it's all said and done, which is pretty valuable. And right now he is not being treated as such. I saw him go in the 4th round of a recent rookie draft I saw on YouTube. So Marvin Mims needs some more respect. Next, Trey Palmer. So Trey Palmer, if you don't know, played at the University of Nebraska this year, Big Ten, and was at LSU before that. So as you can see down below, not very good in his sophomore and junior year. And you're probably asking, Colby, what changed, right? Senior year, he transferred to Nebraska and killed it. And part of the reason he didn't kill it at LSU, in my opinion, is there's just a lot of mouths to feed in that offense. His freshman and sophomore year, he played alongside Jamar Chase, Terrace Marshall, and Justin Jefferson. Obviously not going to earn a lot of targets there. They've shown they're the most dominant receivers in the NFL, so it's going to be super hard. And then once they graduated, he was competing with Malik Neighbors, who is very good, by the way, and Kayshon Boutte, who is an elite recruit. That's what I'll say. I have some strong feelings about Keishon Butte. But either way, it was still tough to earn playing time. There's a lot of talented receivers at LSU, transfers to the Big Ten in Nebraska, and just kills it. So a lot of people who are analytically minded will say, well, he didn't dominate early in his college career. So if you don't follow big wide receiver guy on Twitter, you probably should look into it. He put out a study, and I actually did it on my own, a little data project, and it matched. So he found that peak yards per team pass attempt rather than age adjusted is more effective in predicting NFL results. So over 3 is extremely good. Usually if you can do 3 before your senior year, you'll get drafted in the first round. I don't think Trey Palmer is going to be a first-round pick just because I've seen no hype about him, but I think he's going to get drafted in the first 3, which is still a hefty draft capital investment by an NFL team, which means they are planning on using him. So I think Trey Palmer is a very interesting prospect, and I have not seen him get drafted in one rookie draft so far. So I think that's going to change. He's on the Senior Bowl roster, so NFL teams will be seeing him, and I think he's a very good player, and I think he's going to show that in practices and the game. So Trey Palmer, name to watch out for. Next one, Tyler Hudson. So if you've never heard of Tyler Hudson, he played at Central Arkansas his first 3 years before transferring to Louisville, and he's been dominant every year of his college career. These are pretty insane freshman and sophomore numbers. And then his junior year, obviously extremely elite, didn't get drafted, so wasn't getting enough attention at Central Arkansas. I wonder why. Transfers to Louisville and kills it in the ACC. Just a good receiver all around. All 4 years he's shown that. And he falls kind of in the same bucket as Trey Palmer. You have Brandon Ayuk and Devontae Smith. Obviously your first-round picks. I don't expect him to be in that range. But it's a pretty interesting bucket because there's a lot of range of outcomes. And it's pretty unknown. I mean, usually we haven't seen receivers with this elite analytical profile get drafted or get no hype, so it's strange. So we'll see where they end up. I'm expecting similar to Trey Palmer, 3rd-round pick. That's my prediction. And if he does that, he's going to matter in the NFL, and I haven't seen him drafted in one rookie draft. So a name you need to have on your radar. I think Tyler Hudson's really good. And then next up, we have Jared Wayne. So I really dug deep with this one. So Jared Wayne played at Pittsburgh. And as you can see, freshman through junior year really wasn't much of a factor. Jordan Addison transfers, and Jared Wayne becomes the guy. Extremely dominant senior season, 2.9 yards per team pass attempt with an 82 PFF grade. So very good player. Obviously, just getting limited by Jordan Addison, who is also a very good player, in case you weren't aware. So his comps, kind of the same bucket, a little bit different. 2 of the names that jump out to me, Devin Duvernay and DJ Chark. I think he's closer to those 2 than Ayuk and Smith. But one thing I want to note is Ayuk, pretty interesting numbers. Wasn't very dominant until his senior year in college and got first-round draft capital. I'm not saying any of these guys get first-round draft capital other than Jalin Hyatt, but it's a possibility, a rare possibility. I think it's an interesting case. But anyway, I think he's closer to Duvernay and Chark, which is still viable in fantasy, and I have not seen him drafted in one rookie draft. So another name to keep your eye out for. I don't know what senior game he's playing in, but keep your eye on him. I think he's going to start getting some draft buzz, and I think he will be a 3rd-round pick as well. So will matter for fantasy and in the NFL. So, yeah, thank you all for watching. I'm going to start posting a little bit more now that I got my moving out of the way. And, yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.